Hey guys, Wolvie here. This is the Emperor rework analysis video for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnion Global. Now, I do want to warn everybody, I'm going to be referring to a little bit from the Tomberry Troop infographics, so the usual disclaimer applies. Any opinion in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. I will be going over the banner where the burst weapon is available for Emperor. Now, there is a part 2 to the rework analysis video filming for today. Part 2 is none other than Celeste Share for Final Fantasy VI. And when I get to that part, you know, the same rules apply, that sort of thing. Now, I'm going over the pros and cons because, of course, with every rework, there are certain things that some people may feel was not addressed adequately, and that's how I am. And I'm going to do this in as fair as possible, so that way people can understand where I'm coming from. Now, mind you, I do not have Emperor's burst weapon as of yet. I probably will be gunning for it once Arnea's full event comes on to Global, which should be sometime next week. So that's that on that. I will meet you all, believe it or not, the one of the banners where the burst weapon is available, so that way we can see what's exactly going on. I already have Emperors for LD from the Lost chapter it was tied to. And with that bit out of the way, I'll also have, we'll also have the Dissidia database website link in the description as well. So that way you guys can do your research, gather your own thoughts and opinions, that sort of thing. So with that, like I said, I will meet you all at the one of the banners where the burst weapon info is available, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So I just wanted, I did a little like quick glance at the timer, so that way I'm recording. So this is basically the only thing new for Emperor for the time being, is that this is his burst weapon. It's called Karmic Rod. The ability is called Tyrant Ruling Fiends. Grants access to finishing burst absolute dominion. So basically, this is what happens right here. So it's all the information you see, and you see at the out of the gate, it has Thorns of Repentance, debuff on all targets for 1 turn. What this particular trap does, it triggers Thorns of Repentance upon expiration, and this basically is a way to ignore defense. Has a delay of 1 turn to every target, and the burst effect for 4 turns after use. Now, for those of you who do not have Emperor's LD weapon, I'll show this off in all fairness. It's called Rod of Spite. The LD ability is called Hellish Gale. The ability affinity is called Dreaded Weapons of Destruction. So this is the information you see here. Now you have the recap of 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and 3 out of 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into, if I can get to it, we're going to go straight into the rework information itself. So you're going to have to bear with me here. So this is part of a dual rework upon the release of Divine Ramu. So yeah, this is part 2. So stay tuned for that when I get to filming it. So basically, here is the information in red pertaining to Emperor's rework on skill 1, which is Beckoning Blast and Fair combo extension. And now we do have a rework for skill 2, which is Thunder Crest and Stygian Swell extension. So basically, what you're seeing here is that both skills gain some uses. For skill 1, he gained 1 more use of that, and then skill 2 gained 2 more uses. Now, what do I think about Emperor's rework at this point? So, some people may think it's a minor rework on paper because you only have skill 1 and skill 2. But when you really think about it, this actually does address some of the longevity and varying other issues Emperor had in the past. Now, granted, you know, we still don't have, I mean, it's pretty solid overall. Now, with that being said, granted, it does address some of the longevity issues and some other issues. It doesn't fully resolve certain things because, you know, with him, you have to be kind of mindful with debuffers that he's on the team with. So he's one of those you don't want to put in with Kefka, especially when the latter eventually gets the 80-80 awakening. So Kefka does get 80-80 awakening in the future. The thing is with him, you know, he gets some stuff, you know, where Emperor and Kefka will not work together at all. There are some people coming up, whether it be brand new to the global side of the game, or in the format of a rework that Emperor will not be able to work with because the number of framed debuffs he has, and those particular debuffs being the traps. So it's one of those things that's like, that's the biggest thing with Emperor, in the sense that the problem is you have to be very mindful of the composition he is in the sense of the team you have. And that is all I really have much to say on the matter. So the reason why I say the composition is going to be really tricky for Emperor is because, again, the traps, granted, it's like 1 or 2 turns per trap. And it's, in all honesty, you know, it makes him, you know, difficult to work with. Now, if I were to give out a like, you know, where I want the second rework to go for Emperor, I mean, I would probably see, like, you know, more aspects of the AoE on skill 2, alongside some more uses, and potentially some better potencies all across the board. It's the only thing I really have, because it's like, I done some tests, you know, with Emperor, you know, whether it be my Emperor or somebody else's Emperor in a co-op. So it's one of those things that's like, yeah. So to do a quick recap before the second where I want the second direction of the reworks would be, some of the longevity and varying other aspects were addressed here for Emperor, but not fully so in my personal opinion. Because the thing is when if you have him with certain other like characters who are known to be too debuff, and that's their main thing, he will not work, unfortunately. You know, yeah, Ferris, she's got a second rework coming to... Hold on a second. So the thing is, like, yeah, Ferris, she's got a secondary rework coming in the near future for Global. And that's going to make things more interesting than ever before. You have, again, Kefka. You have some of the others who are known to inflict debuffs, and that's their main thing. So it's one of those things you have to be really careful when you have Emperor with anybody. Now, to do a quick recap for the secondary rework, where I would like to see is like a little further address, you know, certain aspects, you know, the traps, improve the potencies, you know, do certain things with the traps, that sort of thing, because, you know, certain characters kind of rely on certain other things in order to make them work really well. So I would say, you know, a few more uses maybe for skill 2, maybe another 1 or 2 for skill 1. Get something going with the improving the potencies even further. The LD, I would like to see, you know, auto-inflict the traps on the enemies, you know, because, I mean, it doesn't really do much, you know, if you can't inflict the traps. So that's done on that, and like I said, part 2 is going to be none other than Celestia, because for this part of the calendar for Global, she is a very highly anticipated character post-second rework. So that's on that, and that's that for this particular video. So with Wolvie here, signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.